We're live. All right. First of all, I'm going to start every live the same way. I'm going to tell you that if you are listening when we do our audio version of the show, please go to our YouTube channel, which is
Mhm.
the Fox Den hosted by Gina Bankston, even though it's me, me and Mama D, but that's the name on the
It's okay.
YouTube page. And but please go there, like and subscribe to our channel, and you can watch us there because we show a lot of things during our show, even though we are an audio too. But we have pictures of the books, we have the video bio. I'm having technical difficulties with with Blog Talk at the moment. I apologize for that. Hopefully that will record all right. If it doesn't, then we have this audio and this will be just fine. So hi Michelle. How are you? Welcome to the show. Glad to
Now,
have
when
you.
Michelle, if you'll notice, I can see because Michelle, it's just her name is there. That's because she always puts in an adorable little face, her emoji, and we don't get to see it here in StreamYard. But I'm gonna go over to Facebook and check it out.
Ah, okay.
Hi,
Well, now
Michelle.
you're getting pixelated on me.
I know I'm gonna have to stop doing this.
And you look so beautiful tonight.
Thank you very much.
You straightened
How
your
are you doing?
hair.
We are the foxes in the fox den. Even though I'm a little bit of a butterfly, I'm a flutterby. Hey, Jonice.
Well, good evening, everybody. I am Gina B, and the place to be is here with me and Mama D every Thursday evening here in the Fox Den. We are having a little technical difficulties with Blog Talk at the moment. Hopefully, that will clear up during the show. I'm not so sure. I don't know. But tonight, our guest, Edwin Dearborn, is with us. We're going to play a short little video, tell you who he is, what he does, and he will be with us as soon as the video ends. Tonight in the Fox Den, we welcome Edwin Dearborn. He is the author of 3 books: Power Branding Secrets, Build Your Authority with Powerful Content in Digital Media, 3 Degrees of Separation, Learn How to Build Powerful Connections in Business, and Power Branding Secrets, Spark Customers' Interest and Ignite Your Sales, all encompassing the subject of branding and marketing in the digital age. For over 30 years, he has lectured to tens of thousands of business professionals around the globe on subjects of branding, social media, and digital marketing. Edwin combines a unique ability to blend humor and pragmatic know-how into his presentations. His audiences leave inspired with actionable strategies that they can execute immediately within their own businesses. Edwin lives in the Las Vegas, Nevada area and is currently a partner in multiple businesses and capital ventures. Welcome to the Fox Den, Edwin. And welcome, Edwin.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. No, we're honored to have you
It's
here.
our pleasure.
We're all going to learn something from you tonight
I
because
hope so. I hope so.
this is
Okay.
our the era that we live in and have been,
So
and
true. So true.
yeah, and everybody's scared to learn about digital marketing and you know I'm not even out of that loop. Mama D's the one who got me, doing the StreamYard, doing all these
On
things.
my phone.
And yeah, I mean, I did Facebook Lives and stuff, but I didn't have these venues because I didn't really know it was there. And
Right.
so that's the kind of the key where you come in because you know where everything is. So
Well,
Exactly.
I try to know where everything is. I mean, it's a fast moving target, and factually, to stay on top of it, I every day I read about an hour. I buy a lot of books. That's one of my bookshelves over there. I'll probably read about 20 books a year. I watch YouTube shows all the time. I attend live conferences like Grant Cardone's 10X conference. I was there in February. Other conferences, because factually it's overwhelming how fast technology is moving and how many different players there are and parts and how they connect and how does it make it all work.
Exactly. And with COVID, everybody has to be online doing this. This is, this is the only way anyone's going to survive at this moment in
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
let's start at the beginning though. So
Okay.
what is branding? What does that mean?
Branding, in a simple sense, is who you are that's distinctive, that rises above the noise. It's how does someone recognize you and set you apart from everybody else. So if I start a burger stand here in Las Vegas, I'm competing against 1,000 different burger places, including McDonald's and Carl's Jr. and In-N-Out, big players with a lot of money.
Mhm.
So I have to find an angle or something that's different that makes me stand out, that allows me to attract enough people to be viable and kind of build a tribe and some word of mouth. So people go, oh yeah, there's McDonald's and there's In-N-Out, but there's this place I know. And I've got to hook you up. And they do this special and they do that differently. And this is what makes it unique. So I've got to have those unique, distinctive markers that allow me to rise above the Me Too, being labeled as a Me Too brand.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mama, you got that? The next question is my friend
Yeah,
Shelley.
just a quick thank you to Lisa. She just said that she shared our
Thank you very much. Thank you
Well,
very much.
thanks, Lisa.
Okay, in your book, Power Branding Secrets, you dedicated a whole chapter to the branding triangle. Could you please explain that?
Yeah, I think this might be a good time where somebody could open a Google Doc or maybe get a little pad of paper. I don't know about you guys, but I always keep notes. I keep a pad of paper
Oh, yeah.
and a pen. Even though it's a digital era, I still have that habit of writing things down. I like writing my ideas down.
It connects the mind better for me.
It does. And actually, Harvard University did a study and found of all their graduates that succeeded, the top 3% of their graduates were people who wrote down their goals.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's very powerful. Okay, the branding triangle, the reason why I added that in the chapter of my book, Power Branding Secrets, is for years, I could see that most people trying to build a brand, whether it's a personal brand or a product brand or a service brand, had a very narrow mindset and a concept of what branding meant.
Mhm.
So typically when I go to somebody to coach them or help them with their branding, they think branding is a logo and a pretty website. That's our branding.
Right.
Well, really what we would call that, and here's the first angle of the branding triangle. It's called brand identity.
I'm gonna need a big piece of paper.
Brand identity. Now, brand identity is how we identify the brand with our human senses. So Starbucks has got a certain logo, so I can see the logo.
Okay.
When I walk into a Starbucks, it has a certain design. That's a physical attribute that's distinctive of that brand. They wear green aprons. That's part of their branding.
Mm-hmm.
They acknowledge you, well, can we please help our next guest? They have a certain pattern. There's a smell. There's certain products on the
Right.
shelf. So anything that, like a song, a jingle, a color, a logo, a design, right? Anything that I can identify it through human senses is the brand identity.
Okay.
So sometimes people have a logo and they call that branding. And I go, no, that's your brand identity.
Okay.
Your website, part of your brand identity. Well, we all know that I can go out and get a really nice design logo.
Mm-hmm.
I can go out and get a nice website. Does that mean I'm going to get business?
No.
No. I've consulted thousands of people that have spent tens of thousands of dollars each on the pretty website, the pretty logo, and they think their branding is done. What they really got done was their brand identity. But a brand that does not communicate is a dead brand. So this brings up the second part of the branding triangle, which is called branded communication. And this is where the digital era allows us to take our brand identity and now put some life into it. So what you're doing with the Fox Den show would be part of the branded content. So your branded content could be your show. Like Grant Cardone's got Young Hustlers, and he's got all these different YouTube shows. That's part of his branded content. Okay. Grant Cardone writes books, part of his branded content. Blogs are part of your branded content, your podcasts. So branded content it's your own flair and your own methodology of how you communicate to the world and become known.
Makes sense.
So let's take a look at who's the gentleman? Joe Rogan, the guy who just got the big $100 million deal from Spotify. I think it was Spotify, right?
Spotify, yep.
Okay, so Joe Rogan.
We are on Spotify.
Yeah, so Joe Rogan built a brand as a comedian and as a UFC commentator, and then he took that and he started a podcast. So he had a personal brand, but now he decided, okay, I'm going to venture out and create branded content. And that branded content is what eventually got him a $100 million deal from Spotify. It wasn't the brand identity. Yes, he had an identity. He was a comedian. He had a website. He went out there and, built that. But no one was going to pay him $100 million for being a comedian. But he decided, you know what? I love podcasting. I want to interview top people on this planet. He called it the Joe Rogan Experience, which has its own brand identity. And he just started up on YouTube, putting these shows out there, of course, generating a lot of revenue through the views on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And the more he did it, the better he got. And he started to move up in terms of the people that were on his show. All of a sudden, he was getting Hollywood actors and Elon Musk and he was talking about provocative things, politics, UFOs, drug use. Everything and anything was allowed on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay.
And he also became a very adept interviewer. Like he really was one of those interviewers that was able to elicit things out of these famous people. And all of a sudden, Joe Rogan, there's this whole other side, and he had these top guests, and people were talking about stuff like, I didn't know that guy was into UFOs. I didn't know that CIA guy ran that program back in the 60s. He would have these incredible topics. Well, he did that for about 6 or 7 years. And all of a sudden, he had so many followers and so many views that Spotify said, okay, you're going to come off YouTube. We're going to get exclusivity. There are more people that can build their brand that way personally than trying to build a brand identity only.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'll give you a classic example, because I've lectured to a lot of insurance agents, a lot of real estate brokers, mortgage brokers. So any person like that that's trying to go out there and make a name for himself to attract more attention. I remember one time I was in St. Louis speaking to the St. Louis Realtors Association, and I had 100 people in the room. And, I knew what the answers were going to be, so it was a little mean on my part, but I decided I kind of let them fall into my trap. And I said, raise your hand if you give really good customer service. And they're like, oh yeah, everybody raise their hand. I am so good with customer service. Great. Raise your hand if you really know the St. Louis market. Oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. I know St. Louis like the back of my hand. Great. Raise your hand if you really care about people. I go, oh yeah, I love people. Love people. I go, great. Raise your hand if you really like your branding. You like your logo, you like the colors, and most people are, yeah, I got good branding. Okay, great. Raise your hand if you have so much business you don't know what to do with it. No one raised their hand. So I said, isn't that interesting? You're really good at customer service. You care about people.
Mm-hmm.
You know the market. You've got great branding, really the brand identity, but you don't have enough customers. So obviously, all those factors, while important and vital to succeed in business, it's not the differentiator that's building your brand.
So is this where the marketing comes in?
Amen. This is where the content comes in. Now, what if you became the digital mayor of St. Louis or the digital mayor of a section of St. Louis? Because like most cities, cities are broken into like certain neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a really nice part of St. Louis called Ladue. So maybe you become the mayor of Ladue, really upscale area. And you talk about Ladue schools and Ladue restaurants and, the things to do. And you do videos and you interview people and you talk about the news and you build your authority out. You showcase that you know this. You do a podcast, you do a video series on YouTube, and you send that out to email. You build your email list and you send that out. Well, guess what? People will go, man, you really seem in touch with the community. You have a love for I can see it. I can hear it through your branded content. You're the individual.
That's funny because that's what I was thinking.
That's right. So my point is that now that would be something distinctive and memorable as a brand, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? Oh, I know you. You're the lady that does all the stuff about St. Louis, good recipes, the festivals. I love your videos. I learned so much about my city. I want you to list my home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We do this to the people in the chat room, not to distract you or anything, but my honey just in the chat room. So.
Okay, good. Well,
sent me hearts.
you send hearts and I'll try to answer questions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden, it was like, oh, I go, that's why it's vital to build your followers, the number of people on social media, how many people connecting, and then take that content, that spark of an idea, whether it's Facebook Live or right here what you're doing, with this platform, or we could find the platform you're comfortable with. We start creating that content. We start pushing it out through emails, paid ads, if you got the money, organic search on YouTube. And next thing you know, people are like, hey, I saw your show. You seem like you know what you're doing. You're the realtor. Moreover, this is what branded content does. It builds a relationship that precedes meeting you. One study by Google many years ago, they called it the 0 moment of truth. Now they call it micro moments. And micro moments means that when somebody wants to buy something, they go on the internet and they open up a number of pages on their browsers and they look at your Yelp reviews and then they look at your website and then they look at your video and they kind of piece together this puzzle of who you are. The consumer knows how to shop. In fact, 90% of the consumer's decision is already made before they meet you if your branded content is really well done.
Yep.
Okay, so quick question. In branded content and communications, you're saying what's important is not only how you get it out there, but where you put it as well? So people need a website, people need Facebook, things like that.
Yeah,
that's right. Because people are going to basically do this search and discovery And they're going to, be like, I'm really into motorcycles. Before I buy a motorcycle, I guarantee you I've watched 20 or 30 hours of YouTube videos of reviews about it. And this is what Google found, is that people are doing most of their research before they ever engage with the brand.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty much already made up their mind before they've chosen you. They just want to now kind of negotiate the deal and affirm that everything that they've seen online is true. I've literally had, and I'll tell you a success story about this. This is where I really was like, wow, where I was like, why did that work? And before I wrote my book, this was, 6 or 7 years ago. I put out a video on Facebook. I sent it out everywhere. And this gentleman messaged me from Denmark, the country of Denmark. And he said, I saw your video about that video marketing program that you have. I've never met him. I don't know him from Adam. Would that work in Denmark? And I said, well, I don't speak Danish. So, technically, yes, it'll work, but I don't speak Danish. He goes, oh, no. People in Denmark, it's starting in 3rd grade. We learn English, and because English is the language of business, and we speak perfect English. I was like, well, then yes, I could theoretically go to Denmark and do it. He goes, great. How much would it cost? So I said, well, it's not just the cost of my services. You're going to have to pay for my ticket, my hotel, my meals, The whole package came to $20,000 for all my services. And I said, I require 50% down. He sent me the credit card. And 2 months later, I flew to Denmark and delivered my service in Copenhagen.
Wow. That's awesome.
That was from a video that he found on YouTube. And I've had easily 4 or 5 major opportunities. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars earned from people who found my video on YouTube or Facebook.
Yep.
So I'm a living example, and now I consult other people on how to do that. Is yes, branded content will build your brand. So that's the second leg of the triangle.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
So let me tell you what the third is.
She's neat.
Okay, so here's the third. It's called the user experience.
Oh, nice.
It's called hospitality.
Ooh, I'm good at that.
Good. So now let's stick with the burger place. I like the branded logo. Okay, it looks like a good burger place. You got some, I like the website. Some people have told me, there you go.
Yep.
And I go there, and maybe it's a bad day, and the service is slow, the burger is cold, and the waitress is mean to me.
Yeah, not going to go back there again.
You're not going back,
give it a bad
especially
review.
with the waitress.
Right. So I've got all the branding done right, except the user experience doesn't match the brand promise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really, what user experience is defined as delivering what the brand promised.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, exceeding what the brand promised. So let's say now, take the opposite. I walk in and they go, welcome to our, and they welcome me enthusiastically, and they give me everything I want, and it's fast, and it comes to me, and the burger.
It's horrible.
No, it's still good. No, in this case, it's really good. The manager comes by and says, so how was your burger? And I go, oh, it was phenomenal. He goes, thank you so much. Hope to see you and your family here again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They do that an awful lot at places like Outback Steakhouse. I think, when you're sitting at the table, as a matter of fact, sometimes they'll come and they'll sit at the booth. Now that I think is a little too much.
Yeah. Okay. But now what happens when the experience is really, really good? What happens is your Yelp reviews explode in a good way. You get good Google reviews. People start checking in on Instagram and tagging you. oh my God, best burger ever, hashtag foodie, hashtag St. Louis burger, right, whatever. And all of a sudden now you're turning your customers into brand advocates. And now the cycle starts all over again where they're creating the content for you, the branded content, but now they're the creators of the branded content, and it's coming back for more people getting a good user experience.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Totally.
So some brands excel at one corner of the triangle and suffer on others.
That's what I was going to say. Now you have to get that balanced because, you could have all the hospitality in the world. But again, if your burger is horrible, then that, you have to have a good product as well. And then, or if your logo is offensive or, you might need to change that, so.
Or you don't even have a real logo. You don't really have a real website. They can't find you when they search for you.
Yeah.
Or we've all experienced where we found these incredible restaurants that are empty, and you find out what content or what promotion or marketing they're not doing any.
Right.
So they didn't put out the branded content, the ads or the videos or the Facebook posts or, the coupons or whatever would attract that would let the people know that the brand is there.
Yeah. No logo yet. I can help you with that. I make great logos.
Ask Gina.
That's great. So you get where all three have to be in sync.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The brand promise has to be there. It's just like I could put out a really good video with you guys and maybe impress somebody, but then they call me and I don't call them back, and then I'm angry with them, and then I don't deliver the results. It's like, oh gosh, I'm not one of these marketers that just rips you off.
Yeah.
Right? So if I speak to you through this form of branded content, I got to make sure that the user experience, if they decide to hire me, is just as exceptional as the content that I put out.
Right. So now do you have, so someone is starting their business, all right, and they're like totally lost, just totally lost.
Yeah.
They have a great location.
Yeah.
At least they got something. But they call you and they say, what do I do? Where do I even start? Would you start with like a website?
No.
Okay.
The first thing that I would start is by interviewing them and assessing where they're at. See, if I go to a doctor and I tell him I'm not feeling well, he does a diagnosis.
Right.
He doesn't just take my word and give me some pills. He checks my blood.
Yeah.
He may do a urine and hair analysis. He may poke around. He may check my heartbeat. He may do an MRI. He's going to try to find out the cause of the problem.
Okay.
Okay. When I go into a business, I have to do a diagnostic test. And I ask a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. What resources do you have? Have you ever had success before? What are your goals? Do you have a budget? What marketing have you done? Do you have a sales team? Are they trained? Do they have materials? Like I need to know where all the holes are in the ship.
Or if there is even a ship. What if they're just a sole proprietor?
Yeah, it may look like a dinghy, and he thinks he's got, but it's really the Titanic.
True.
Right. So I have to assess the same thing with a car. If I go in, my car is making a knocking noise. They do diagnostics.
So Lisa says check under the hood.
Yeah. I got to check under the hood. And that checking under the hood, I tend to I'll even sometimes, if I can, go to the business and actually watch. You've seen these television shows where the guy goes into the restaurant and he's like, you don't do this, you don't do that. He actually gets a diagnostic. He gets her on the ground, looks at the business, and tries to figure out what is wrong. I do a very similar thing. And I could spend 5 to 10 hours looking at past statistics, interviewing employees, surveying the customers, looking at their reviews. I got to get accurate picture from all angles before I go, this is what we do to fix your problem.
Awesome.
And that's where most marketers miss the mark. They come in, see their hammer, and they see everything as a nail. So if you're an SEO guy, they go, you need SEO.
Yeah.
If they're a Facebook ad guy, they go, well, you just need more Facebook ads, because they're a hammer and everything's a nail. I have an entire tool chest.
Good. And that's what most businesses need, especially today, because the venues are so vast. They really are.
Yeah.
So it gets very complicated, and then people give up because they don't know.
They give up.
What's the biggest error that people make?
I think the biggest error that people make is thinking that there's one thing that's going to solve it all. There's going to be this, if we just do this, and it's almost like flavor of the month.
Yeah.
My friend's doing Facebook ads, so we should do Facebook ads.
Mm-hmm.
Then a couple months later, it's like, oh, well, Instagram is hot. What's our Instagram strategy? And they bebop from thing to thing, thinking that this new thing
is going to be
the answer and is going to be it.
Right.
If we just do this, it'll all solve our problems. Again, it comes back to not really understanding the core problem. If you fix everything in a car except the carburetor, and the carburetor is what was causing the problem, the car still doesn't run.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just spent $6,000 fixing my car, and spending the last. Yes, you fixed everything except the actual problem.
Yeah, because you could have the brightest, shiniest personality. You could have the best, shiniest logo. You can have the best product, but if you can't get it out there, and you're not following through, and you don't have these skills, you're nowhere.
Absolutely. So that's what I do is go, look, I understand you want an Instagram strategy or a Twitter strategy or an SEO strategy, and it may be the thing you need, and it may not. So let's not go in with any preconceived ideas. It's like a patient going to Google and diagnosing themselves by looking at their, oh, I'm sure I've got cancer. I was reading a blog post. I know I have cancer. And they walk into the doctor going, I'm convinced I have. And the doctor's like, you don't have cancer. Yeah, but I've got all these symptoms. Okay, those are symptoms. Those aren't the cause necessarily.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get you the tests.
I love that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Mama, do you want to ask the question?
Yeah. All right. Because this one's got me going here. You're an adherent to the philosophy of Kaizen. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Kaizen. Okay. Zen. Hello, Darlene. What can you explain what the term means and how it applies to marketing?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to put this up.
And I'm taking notes.
Kaizen. Okay.
Kaizen.
So Kaizen really is small, continuous improvements.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why this is important. Unfortunately, most business people are impatient.
No.
They want everything done. They want it all now. And they want a result right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something. How long did it take Joe Rogan to build a brand to get $100 million?
6-7 years.
Yeah.
And that was just the show.
Success is never an overnight success.
Right.
Right. So you want me to fix your broken business in 3 months? You have no content. You have no email database. You do nothing on Facebook we're talking about. Your customer service is not that good. You're kind of slow in delivery. And you want me to turn everything around in 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't do voodoo, and I'm not Harry Houdini. I can't wave a magic wand and fix everything. I wish I did, because I'd be a billionaire. So we have to have proper expectations to fix a problem properly.
Yeah.
If you have stage 4 cancer, how long will it take to get rid of it?
I don't know if you're going to.
Right. If you're 100 pounds overweight, how long does it take to get in shape?
A year.
Right. If your business is really bad, how long does it take to turn it around?
A year.
Minimum of a year.
It could take more. So
Yeah.
I tell them, I go, first of all, let's have proper expectations. Let's get out of the world of delusions and improper expectations. If we have proper expectations, then we'll put in proper effort. And with proper effort, we'll make proper change. Okay.
Well, a lot of people say, all right, she's saying 4 years. A lot of people say the 5-year plan. You know, you can have a 5-year
Sure.
plan.
Have a 5-year plan. And if you do all the right things for 5 years, you'll get there. But let's be real. Let's just be real. And when I see people that are unreal, I won't take them on as clients because I know in 3 months they'll be like, well, I've worked with you for 3 months and nothing's happening. I'm like, you were 100 pounds with stage 4 cancer, overweight. I mean, like Dr. Dearborn here can't perform miracles.
Doctor.
So,
God.
yeah, I just self-assigned that just for the moment. But so Kaizen is, okay, we've got all these changes. We've got, 100 feet to dig. We're going to dig a half a foot this week. That means we got to go get the tools. We got to get training on how to use the tools. And after a week of it, you're like, man, we've only dug a half a foot. You're like, yes, but we've started.
Right. It's like Lisa in the chat room says, baby steps add up to big things.
Yes.
Amen. So some people don't like doing baby steps because it takes a lot of them every day.
Right.
So
this is forward.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah, like writing comes in handy too, because you can write out like a plan of things that need to be done, but you can't do all those at once. But you can do this one and you can do that one, so you can start crossing them up. So
that's right. You have to put in structure and routines and good habits on a daily basis to get you where you want to go. Eating a salad for one day is not going to make you lose weight.
No.
So if I eat a salad, if I look in the mirror and I go, oh my God, I am out of shape, I am unhealthy, I'm going to eat a salad today and I'm going to walk around the block. You're going to be the exact same weight you were
when you get done.
But if you eat that salad instead of the potato chips and you walk around the block and you do that for 45 days, you'll look in the mirror and go, wow, I've lost 10 pounds. So Kaizen says to lose that 10 pounds, you got to make those small little changes every single day. As one salad at one meal doesn't change anything. But it was a salad, not a bag of chips.
Mm-hmm.
Small change.
Mm-hmm. And it's a mental thing too, because you're changing your mindset.
Right. So now this is how I've been building a brand. I'll give you an example. I partnered with a bookkeeper 4 months ago in Los Angeles. She's moving to Florida next week because California is way too expensive and is not friendly to business. Let's just put it that way. Okay. And Florida is cheaper and much more friendly for business. So she started with me, and she's been at the same income level pretty much for a couple of years. And I did my diagnostic. Do you have a website? It was very basic. Do you have a Google My Business and a Yelp? No, I don't. Do you have an email database? I think I do. Maybe I use it once in a while. So I do this whole thing and I go, well, how have you gotten your clients? She goes, well, I just deliver really good service. And then once in a while, I'll post something on Facebook and then I get a client about once a month. That's okay. So I said, knowing that I've got a full tool chest, I have to look at her and no marketing assets to speak of. No marketing experience. So I said, I would overwhelm you, but I have a principle I follow, which is Kaizen. So the first thing we're going to do is, do you have a bunch of emails lying around, in various, oh yeah, I've got some on my phone. I've got a bunch of business cards I've saved. Okay, good. Let's compile your email into an email database. Okay, so it took a couple weeks, and finally we had an email database of 300 names. Great. What should I send them?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is what I did. I said, well, the word authority is derived from the word author. Write that down. Authority is derived from the word author. The word author means the creator of things. You could be an author of a poem, a YouTube series, a screenplay. You could author a new way of doing something. You could author a methodology.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you author things, eventually people will see you as an authority. So what we're going to do is we're going to author some content, branded content, back to the triangle. I said, you're going to write down for me the top 10 questions you get asked all the time. In fact, you get asked these top 10 questions or 20 questions so often that it bothers you. I want to know the 10, 15, 20, whatever they are, the questions you get asked every day. How much are your fees? What's the difference between a bookkeeper and a CPA? How long will it take you to get my taxes in order? Whatever they are.
Yeah.
For a realtor, how much money do I have to put down to buy a home? What does my credit score have to be to buy a home? Whatever they are.
Whatever it is. Whatever is apropos to your business.
Good. Now you're going to write down the answer. You're going to type out the official answer, a paragraph, a sentence, a page, whatever answers that question fully for the person. When they're done reading, they go, oh, I have to put at least 4% down on a home.
Mm-hmm.
And my credit score has to at least be 680. So, and they go, and the better the credit score, the better the rate you get. And the more you put down, lower your payment. But here's the minimum. Great, you answered the question. So we're going to email, in the subject line, it's going to go the question, how much does my credit score have to be? And then you're going to email the answer.
Or
and she's like,
like a whole, you could do that like once a month, question and answer.
Once a week. Just once a week, you're going to send this out. You're going to have the question. We're going to put a little picture in there that fits the question, and then you're just going to put the answer and then your name, phone number, and that's all you're going to do. She goes, yeah, but what about the videos? And what about? I said, Kaizen. We're going to take we got the list. That was small step number 1. Now you're just going to write a question and write an answer. We're just going to do that. Because if I try to get you on video, you're going to fight me the whole way and tell me, oh, I don't look good today, and I don't have the right equipment, and I don't do this, and what should I? I've gone through all that. So I got her to do the email list. Good. So we started getting emails out. Okay, good. Now that we've done that, we're going to get your LinkedIn profile looking really good, and we're going to hire a virtual assistant who's going to send out 100 invitations a day. And by connecting, they're going to go, oh, she's a bookkeeper. And probably, 1 out of 100 may need a bookkeeper. But just the fact that you're going, hi, I'm a bookkeeper.
Right. Okay, question. What is a virtual assistant?
A virtual assistant is somebody that you can hire that will do tasks for you. Okay. And you can hire them overseas if you want, or you, and they'll send out they'll do whatever you want. Bookkeeping, they do these repetitive activities like send out invitations or post things for me on social media or chase this up. It's kind of like your secretary, but they also sit at home. Right, there you go.
Got it.
Okay, so now the virtual assistant sends out the invitations from their profile, And then when they accept, they send a thank you for connecting. I'm a bookkeeper. Here's a link to my website.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, we grab the email off of their profile because they've given us access and permission to view their profile. And then I take that email and I put it in her email database, which we've already begun. See how now things are building on top of each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, guess what? In the last 4 months, her email database has gone from 300 to 3,000 names.
Wow. Wow.
And our emails are getting better.
But does she?
Because-
Is it like a constant contact type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
what Bob, my business partner, does. When he sends out our stuff for our businesses, it's all constant contact, so it just all goes out to everybody.
There you go. And you can segment the list that certain people get certain things. I mean, you can get pretty fancy, but I didn't do that with her because, again, I'm coming back to the question, Kaizen. I'm getting her to make small improvements,
Right.
but we are making progress.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
now that we've got the virtual assistant sending out the invitations, the emails are going out. Now we've got Yelp reviews and Google reviews being garnered, and we're adding more photos. And now we're on the Google My Business activity of really building that out to be a robust. I suggest that for any small business, get really good at Google My Business. That is an incredible SEO, local SEO opportunity for any business. Okay, so now she's going to show up in search in about a month or 2 for her area because she's got all these reviews and all these posts and all these photos. So guess what I've done? I've now built for her multiple sources of revenue and leads, but I did it one by one. Now, I guarantee you a year from now, we'll look back and go, oh yeah, I do LinkedIn, I do email, Google My Business, I do this. See, I took her from white belt to yellow belt, and then yellow belt to orange belt, and then orange belt to blue belt. And in 2 years, she'll be a black belt.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And get this, by just doing those simple things, in 4 months, I have tripled her sales.
Wow. Now, does she have to hire more people?
Yes, we've hired 2 more bookkeepers. Listen to this. We've gone from 1 to 2 new clients per month to 1 to 2 new clients per week.
Awesome.
Okay, so do you do everything for them, or you teach them and so that they can do it when they grow up and can walk on their own type of thing?
It depends. Good question. It depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on how big their team is. It depends on what they offer and how complex the content is. Obviously, if they've got a lot of money and a lot of people, there's more moving parts, and there's also a lot more budget to do a lot more fancier things.
Mm-hmm.
With her, it was her.
Yeah.
Now she's got 2 more bookkeepers and an assistant and a virtual assistant. The assistant helps her, is here in the United States. The virtual assistant is in South Africa.
Cool.
That's wonderful. That's a tough job. I did that for a while. I went to I was in accounting school, had a 4.0 average. Thank you very much. But I did it basically for because of my own business. I wanted to know and do all my own books and stuff. So that's why I did it. But it's a tough thing. But I always said, you know what? I can always fall back on that. But I never thought of it in this context, like the marketing and the strategies and the emails and the introductions, and you just don't think of a bookkeeper doing that. So that's
right. And I'll tell you why she got so much business, because no other bookkeeper is doing it.
Exactly.
She's the only one showing up.
Yeah. I mean, because back in our day, everything was yellow pages. When I first started my business, I mean, I can't tell you the thousands of dollars we spent on yellow pages, monthly, and all the things that they did. And then they would send out, well, if you want cards going out in the mail, to people too. So you could, that was offered through Yellow Pages. But basically that was the bulk of the advertising.
Yeah, it was. Well, can you imagine if you took that thousands of dollars you spent on Yellow Pages and you spent it on email and Facebook ads and virtual assistants reaching out? It would have the same impact. See, nothing's changed except the means of how we reach people.
Yeah. Well,
People
more.
still-
This is vast. This is global, as opposed to Yellow Pages. That was local. And
Absolutely.
you spend that kind of money.
We have a question in the chat room. Can a massage therapist do this for her own business?
Absolutely.
Say yes.
Yeah. So the way that I would do that as a massage therapist, first of all, I would identify who my target audience is. There's probably a demographic that tends to get that the more. So let's say it's business people between 35 and 55.
Yeah.
They get home from work. It's like they're not as youthful as they used to be, right? I really need a massage. Exactly. Okay. So then you go on LinkedIn and you go, okay, there's a tool on LinkedIn called Sales Navigator. It's about $79 a month. What it does is it unlocks a very powerful search capability within LinkedIn. Yes, you can go with the free version, but I suggest you get Sales Navigator, because now it'll really zero in on who you want to go after. I want to go after presidents of corporations who live in San Francisco, who have 10 or more employees in the healthcare industry. And they'll just go, and it'll show you all those people. And then you just send invites to those people.
Wow. Oh, that's great. Well, Joan, I hope that helps you. That's a great suggestion, for anybody.
So is LinkedIn the most digitally where people search the most for whatever we're looking for?
No, but I tell you why I like LinkedIn, because first of all, it's a platform that when you're on there and you talk to people, they know that you're talking about business.
Right.
It's not about cat videos. That's Facebook. It's not about arguing about who should be president. That's Twitter. It's not, I look like a sexy model. That's Instagram.
That's me.
Right.
Yeah. So LinkedIn is about business. So you can talk about business.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, I do this. Let's enter business. Number two, the search capabilities within LinkedIn, when you get Sales Navigator, is just, oh my gosh, that's an unlock right there when you really get good at it. Number three, it has their contact information on their profile. So now, instead of just hoping they see my content, I can project it specifically and individually to that person and go, watch my video, or check out this latest blog that I wrote, or, hey, I'm on a podcast. Here's the link to my Spotify channel. See, I can get more followers and directly influence the consumption of my content on LinkedIn more than any other platform.
Now, this is what we're looking into now, is more onto LinkedIn. Like, we both have LinkedIn, but we have the free version of LinkedIn. So we were just talking about this the other day, and I said, "You want the paid?" And she said, "No," because you can actually do live on LinkedIn, and
you have to sign up for it. You do have to sign up for it. But I'll tell you what, this is what I like LinkedIn about. If you just change your mindset about LinkedIn and look at your profile as your de facto website.
Mm-hmm.
It's your second website. And if you treat it and put a nice banner and have the information, and you can even upload your videos, your content, your price sheets, your slide decks, you can get reviews. If you look at it from the viewpoint of a website and you really start to, build that out, people go there and they go, wow, look at all this content and look what they do, and great photo, and wow, he's an author, and look at the videos he's made. it's a very robust platform when you really understand it well.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of things, I'll get a lot of emails like so-and-so's looked at the profile and so-and-so wants you to, join their network and whatever, but it has absolutely nothing to do with me, what I do. So I kind of disregard it and just, nah,
I have
but I have
LinkedIn.
the time.
Yeah. I have LinkedIn and I use it, and I knew it was a way to connect. So, but like you said the other day when we had our conversation, and you just said today, I got to go pimp out my LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Make it
telling you. Yeah, LinkedIn is one of those people where it's not really appreciated, but when you really get good at it, and I'll tell you a way to get good at it. There's two ways to get good at it. Number one, Kaizen, just do it every day.
Yep.
For 15 minutes. After a while, you'll start to get the hang of it. It's like riding a bicycle. At first, it sucks. You fall down, but you get better. And then number two, there's so much free content on YouTube. You can type in, how to make a profile on LinkedIn look good, how to send an invitation out on LinkedIn. Do a deep dive on it. Spend 20, 30 hours on it, watching videos every night. Stop Game of Thrones and learn how to start marketing your business on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Right.
It'll work. Yeah.
Definitely.
So LinkedIn is not just a personal thing. Like we can make a profile for the Fox Den on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Okay.
We can do that. We'll start fresh with that.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
We can do our personal ones too. This is great. I knew I was going to be learning so much from you. We are pretty much at our halfway mark, and I think this would be a good place before we get into another subject to have a little commercial break. So we're going to have just a little 3-minute break, and then we'll come back. We're going to pick your brain some more.
Okay.
And I love talking to you about this.
Awesome.
The Fox Den is now proudly sponsored by Vortex Ghost Gear, one of the leading fabricators of paranormal equipment. Bob Christopher is the founder and creator of Vortex Ghost Gear. He has decades of investigating, starting with his team at NEPA, and as lead in the popular local TV show Ghost Detectives, he has experience of how spirits could be seen or heard. Using this knowledge, he has manufactured equipment for specific scenarios of spirit manifestation and communication. He is the only manufacturer of the popular lifelike trigger prop cats and dogs. Using proximity meters wired to lights and sound, these prove to be highly effective communication devices in the field of study. The HTO, another Vortex exclusive, allowing specific items to be the highlight or trigger of your investigation. For example, place the item on a metal tray or attach directly to any metal object such as keys or glasses that continue to go missing or moved. Ask the spirit to touch the item. The HTO will light. It has a sound option as well. This device was used in Travel Channel's Ghost Nation with great results. The Dome, a static detector, can be the most useful device in your gear bag. This is to back up the theory that the spirits manifest using static electricity. Using several, you can track a spirit, for example, walking down a hallway, setting off each as it passes. The geophone detects vibrations. This is another way to track movement. If a claim is footsteps in the hallway or stairwell, set the sensitivity and place the device in that area. Its band of lights will show a range of vibrations from the slightest tapping, lighting only a few lights, to the loudest thumping, lighting the entire range. The Easy Scan ghost boxes are very popular due to the ease of use. They are custom decorated to the individual or team using them. Bob programs and uses an Arduino-based computer scanning FM waves to potentially communicate with the spirit realm in real time. Every box is unique and all custom hand decorated by Gina Bankston. The V-Pod has a special place for those who love the idea of REM pods. Use this sleeker, smaller, easier to transport device. It is a must-have in your gear bag. Take your investigating to the next level with many of Vortex Ghost Gear's unique and custom creations by Bob Christopher. Visit www.vortexghostgear.com 4texghostgear.com to view all the products and get your equipment today. You can also investigate with Bob and Gina with Ghostly Excursions, taking people to some of the most haunted locations in the USA. Visit www.ghostlyexcursions.com and join us on our next adventure. And we're back. Did you get the little message I sent you, Mama?
Okay, my turn. No, I never pay any attention to you. My turn. Okay, Edwin. What is an easy way to begin having success in marketing?
In what?
Marketing.
In marketing. I think the first thing you have to do in marketing, yes, is you have to decide what you want to do. You know, like you have to have a certainty of where you want to go and what you're willing to do. Because I can suggest a lot of things and I'll have people going, I don't want to do LinkedIn. Okay, well, then do videos on YouTube. I don't want to do videos on YouTube. So you're going to have to ask yourself, what am I actually willing to do and willing to learn? Because whatever that thing is, I want to now get you immersed in knowing about that. But if I try to force you to do something you're not willing to do, like I've had people like, I know I should blog, but I'm not going to blog. I'm just not going to blog. Okay, good. So we're not blogging. Because even though I could recommend it, you're not willing to do it. I've got to find that fine line of where you're willing to go with this. I would say that's the first thing is write down what you see yourself doing, what excites you. Is it video? Is it podcasts? Then start learning about that. Start finding people that know about that.
Yeah. Okay. A question on blogging. I'll try this one again. I've blogged before, but it's just kind of like what comes to my mind. So how would you blog about a business?
Again, back to the point of what are the common questions that people have? Yeah. What are the common trends that are the business is going? What are the common problems? Like how-to content is very popular. So again, what are the top 10 problems that you see all the time and that you see with customers? Write that. If you're a restaurant, write recipes. Like what's contextual to what you do, and then start helping people with your content. Give helpful content, how-to content.
Yeah. Okay. Like in the Miracle on 34th Street where Santa Claus would send people to the other store to go shopping, but yet they'd come back to Macy's in the end. Okay.
Right. Yeah, help people.
Yeah. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what we try to do every week. Share the show. We try to help all of you that are listening and watching. And we try to bring the best content that we possibly can. But now, what would be some of the best strategies that you can give people for marketing who are really low on funds, especially now because businesses are tanking?
Yeah, there's this thing called a mobile device. Does everybody have one of these?
We have.
You're lucky. My husband just gave in his flip phone, so yes, he does.
Yeah, I got two right here. I got the iPhone and the Android.
This is the greatest marketing tool ever invented. Mm-hmm. The apps are free. You can download them. You can start connecting for free. You can send out an invitation for free. You can go on Facebook Live for free. You can take pictures and put hashtags about your business. You can sign up for Yelp for free, Google My Business for free, and get reviews for free.
Hold on, Yelp?
Yelp? I don't know.
I've done
Yelp and Google My Business, right? Certain email platforms are free up to a certain point. Like, I forget, MailChimp is free up until you get to like 2,000 names. And then it's like $40 a month.
MailChimp?
Chimp, CHIMP. Have that, yeah.
Chimp, yeah, like the monkey.
Oh.
So all these things are free. You can start a blog for free. You can blog on LinkedIn for free. They have a blogging platform.
Constant contact.
Yeah, constant contact.
Yeah.
So my point is that you can start posting more content. You can do Facebook Lives for free. You can answer questions for free.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally go on Facebook and go, top 10 reasons to get a masseuse. And you just list them out. Or,
ouch.
Yeah, here's the top 10 benefits. Or, what massages, here's the top 3 massages that release neck pain. Or here's the 5 most common causes of lower back pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just start posting this content all the time. Guess what happens? Somebody goes, wow, you seem to know a lot because you answer questions, you give information, you sound like you know what you're doing. I think you're the one that I need the masseuse to be my masseuse.
Yeah.
This could be true of an accountant or a realtor or whatever.
Exactly. I had in Massachusetts, because now I'm in Pennsylvania, but in Massachusetts, I met the best massage therapist I ever had in a post office. Her and her husband were trying to fit this big package in their little teeny box thing. It wasn't working, and they were cracking me up. And I'm like, "Do you guys need help?" And I met them, and all over their car were stickers of massage therapy numbers and stuff. And I'm like, we all walked out together, and I was like, oh man, do I need a massage? Because I did physical labor, all the time, and I'm always hurting. And she's like, that's my car. That's what we do. And then I'm going, oh my gosh. And they come to your house. I met her that way. I had her come to my house. She's the best massage therapist I've ever had in my entire life. Her hands, I swear, God works through them. But her knowledge base as she's massaging, she's telling me what these muscles are, where it's starts from, stems from, connects to the nerves, all the nerves that go up into your head, and all this stuff. So she knows exactly what she's talking about when she's doing it. So that sold me.
There you go. So now that's what you should be doing is
use your experience.
There's all these free platforms that allow you to post content for free, create videos for free. Twitter has video, Facebook has video, Instagram has video.
Twitter has Periscope, right?
Yeah, Twitter got Periscope.
Okay.
So LinkedIn now has video. Your phone will record it. You can upload it to YouTube for free. I mean, the world is your oyster to those who are ambitious and have initiative.
Very true.
So you don't have to pay for all these things all the time.
Not in the beginning, no.
No. But once you get your foot wet, and and your business starts growing, and you want it to grow more, and now you're making some money, then what do you have to do to keep your business going and growing is invest in your business and continue this marketing on a bigger level.
Yeah.
And that's where you would come in.
That's right. And unfortunately, that's the next mind shift that's going to happen. I got to spend money. Well, you're now making it. Now we're going to amplify your brand with advertising, because now look, the bookkeeper, now that she has money, we can put money into ads. Now, when people are Googling and looking for a bookkeeper, there's her ad. And now we can double, triple the leads now that we've hired, a couple more people. So yeah, you have to put money back into your business. It's funny that when people want to have a retirement account, they know that they have to invest to grow their funds. Doesn't that same principle apply to grow your business?
Absolutely.
Right. If you want to grow a garden, you got to go buy stuff to put in your garden. You got to buy the mulch and the vitamins and the sprays, and you got to put in the effort if you expect fruit.
Yep.
Exactly.
So that's the same thing with a business. You definitely have. I strongly urge that people put 10% aside of their profits after you pay taxes, after you pay your employees. See what you got. I don't care if it's $300. That's $10 a day on Google Ads. That could get you 1 or 2 new customers a month.
You could get you a huge client.
It gets you a huge client. Yeah, I've had
word of mouth.
There you go.
I mean, I had a cleaning business for 30 years. I never advertised that business, yet I was so busy I couldn't keep up with it, and I turned people away, and I had a waiting list,
Wow.
all from word of mouth.
Yeah. And today it's now called word of mouse. We can do everything digitally. Right. It's word of mouse. Meaning you can get on the computer and you can promote yourself on these platforms for free.
That's
You can get other people talking about you for free. You get one of your happy clients and go, would you talk about me on your Facebook? That's free. Would you recommend me on Facebook?
Okay. Very true.
It's the modern day referral.
Yep.
It is. It is. It's a great, and I mean, it's an awesome platform. There's so many, and that's the thing. But people will get overwhelmed. So again, go back to the Kaizen.
The Kaizen, yeah. Pick a platform, get good at it, study about it, find out what you're willing to do, and little by little, you'll get stronger and better.
Right. So we're gonna pummel the LinkedIn. We're gonna.
Okay.
That's gonna be our next thing.
We're gonna start.
Yep, we're gonna be doing that. That's gonna be our next thing.
Awesome.
So watch for us on LinkedIn, people.
Yeah. And by the way, any of your listeners, they should connect with me on LinkedIn.
I have been putting the links into the chat room as we speak. So.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Do I have those on the, no.
Sure.
No, all I have is edwindearborn.com. You can see all his videos too. He's on YouTube.
Yeah. If you want to reach me, literally, like I'm on LinkedIn all the time. The best way to reach me is on LinkedIn.
Yeah, we need that. And she's got those in the comments here. We will put that. We should put it up here.
Yeah.
So people can see it that can't see those comments.
Awesome.
But that's great. Now, all right. Well, if LinkedIn is, like you said, an extension of a website, how important is it to have a website? Do you have to have a website?
You should have a website. It's interesting. A website, again, depending on your business. If you're a restaurant, it's not going to be as vital as having lots of good reviews on Yelp or Google, because that's how people pick restaurants. They don't go to a restaurant. They just want to see, are other people liking your food? So for a restaurant, have a good website, but I wouldn't put a lot of effort into it. I'd put a lot of effort on getting good reviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no one right answer for a business. The real thing about a website is you just want it able to navigate. The number one reason why people go to a website is to find the phone number.
Okay.
They want to call. Are you open? So what I tell people is, in big, you want to put your phone number, your contact information, your address, and your Google map easy to find, because those are the number 1, 2, and 3 reasons. They just want to know if you're open, if they can call you, and if you're able to visit.
If none of your Facebook friends are in your local business area, is LinkedIn better to use?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much that's what.
Yeah, because then now you can locate people in your area.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I guess I never put so much stock into LinkedIn. I just figured I didn't realize that there was so much going on there.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I'm excited. We're going to start tomorrow morning.
Yeah. I think, again, Kaizen, it's going to take you about a month to get good at it. Watch some videos about it, tweak your site, learn how to use Navigator. Like the first month may be a little rough because you're just going to be, this doesn't make sense. It's overwhelming, but just stick with it. Keep playing around. You'll come out of it.
Yeah, because I did once. I tried to create an event. I think it was that they called it. I was just trying to promote one of the shows, and I said, "Oh, you can create an event on Facebook easy enough," But I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll create it there." And I went through all this stuff, and then it wouldn't let me put it up for some reason, and I said, I gave up.
Yeah, she loses patience way too quickly. I have patience.
I'm from Massachusetts.
She'd rather be out hammering nails in roofs and stuff like that than sitting up for the computer. But that's me.
Yes, that's why I have her. I can't do this.
I know I won't get fired.
I'm gonna go fix my window. You deal with this.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah,
See,
why don't you ask the next one?
yeah, well, because a couple of the questions you've already answered in what we've been discussing already. So, what is the most effective marketing strategy that you can recommend to all your clients?
Okay, so maybe you might want to do a diagnostic yourself, and develop a strategy. I believe that every strategy that I do for a client, I write down in a Google Doc. There's no ambiguousness about what we're doing. There's no having really good meetings. We operate kind of like the military. Here's the battle plan. Here's what this division or corporal or sergeant does, and they're going to lead this team doing these actions. We get very down into the details. And your first marketing plan may only be a page or two. It doesn't have to be complex, but you have a plan, right? Here's my to-do list for the month. Set up my LinkedIn profile. I don't have one. Get good at LinkedIn. Study a lot about it. Stay up at night, watch some videos. If you've been watching Mad Men or Game of Thrones, turn that off and watch and get good at LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You got the time, right? So let's invest your time into productive things versus just being a couch potato and dumbing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the time for it too.
It's not the time. Yeah.
Don't dump down to anybody. All right. Now, what are the benefits of the books? Now, I did, however, make the mistake because Power Branding Secrets is the same book, 3 Degrees of Separation. And then you have another on Amazon that's available for Kindle for only 99 cents.
You can get 3 Degrees of Separation for 99 cents. It's about a 50 or 60 page read. Power Branding Secrets is a hardback book or a Kindle book that's more like 200. So let me just speak to you about 3 Degrees of Separation. So it's 99 cents. I don't make any money off of it. I didn't write it to make any money. The reason why I wrote it, and I finished that last year, was the number one thing I was running into in regards to social media was there's this dispersal. Oh, I should be over here, and then I should be over here, and then what about Twitter, and what about? And I step back and I go, what are you? I don't want to talk about the tools or the platforms. I want to talk about you. What are you hoping to accomplish with all this nonsense? Like, why? What's your why? Why are you here? Why do you even want to be there? Why are you on this earth? What is the effect that you're trying to create upon the planet? What's the dent that you want to make?
That's what we have our own morning show.
Yes.
Well, some people, not everybody's clear on this point. They're blah, 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 and I don't know, and I'm confused, and I need a glass of Chardonnay, and
all right, hold on. I'm a designer, decorator, and I did a restaurant for a bunch of Greek people. Can I tell you, they were the hardest people to work with ever?
Yes.
They want to have, drinks, food, this, that. Well, all I wanted was a material for the chairs. That's all. I'm like, I need this material. I have other clients. I need to go. All right. Just, can we pick a material? They got so mad because I was like, can we please pick a material? And they're like, well, what do you mean? And then we didn't get a material that day because, they wanted to eat.
Foozle.
And it's like,
yes.
Focus. Can you focus?
Right. So look, the reason why we're communicating is the hopes that we connect with the right people to do amazing things.
Yeah.
But if you yourself are confused, the vibration you put out into the universe is confusion.
Yeah.
True. That's true.
And that doesn't attract the right people. That attracts confused people like yourself.
That's true. 100%.
So what we got to do is go, okay, who are you? Let's write this down. What is your purpose? What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And what is a unique about you? I want to articulate it. I want to write it down so it is clear. If you can't write it, that means it's not clear in your head.
Exactly. You have a question in the chat room from Joni.
I get another question here.
Does Edwin work with people that work for themselves without employees?
Yes.
Simple. You're so difficult on answering questions.
Because
I'm focused.
I knew it.
He's very focused. I get that way. Like when I'm working, I'm extremely focused when I'm working because I ran so many jobs and I don't mess around. You can Bob.
There you go.
You can't even work with me because I'm just too. I'm like a Gestapo.
Yeah.
This needs to happen. That needs to happen. This needs to happen today because tomorrow, the electrician needs to come today because the plumber's coming tomorrow and the walls are going up, in the middle of the two of you. So let's go. All right. I don't want to hear that, no nails were on the job. All right. That means you go to the store and you get a job, box of nails and you come back and you do your job. Don't sit and whine about it. Just do it.
Exactly. So, back to the point is, let's assess who you are first, what we're trying to communicate. And what that book really does is it shows you that you're actually 3 degrees away from your biggest opportunity, 3 or less degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So Gina and Mama D, you're my first degree. I'm connected to you first degree.
Right.
You've introduced me to Joan Costello, who keeps asking questions. That would be my 2nd degree because I never knew Joan until I knew you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, Joan in Florida probably knows some really wealthy guy who could write me a big paycheck for some marketing.
I bet she does.
Right. That's the 3 degrees of separation. So if I influence you, right, and then you in turn influence Joan because she's here, and then I deliver really good user experience and content to Joan, and so maybe she's out and having a martini or a steak or whatever with a client, and the guy goes, "Yeah, my damn marketing team can't get their shit straight." Excuse my French. Sorry.
That's right.
But that's what businessmen will sound like, right?
Yeah.
And Joan goes, "Oh, I was just on a webinar on Facebook, and there was this marketing guy, and I bought his book, and I'll send you the link." Now, how many times has that happened in our life?
Tons.
Often.
Okay.
Tons.
So what I go over in my book, 3 Degrees of Separation, is how we can create that daily. Now, that doesn't mean that I get the big opportunity every day, but maybe today I influence you too.
Right.
And then that ripple effects maybe takes a couple months before it comes back to me. But then tomorrow I meet somebody and I create that effect. And then that little ripple effect starts, and it may take a year to come back to me. But if every day I'm influencing that first degree, well, I'm creating ripples and opportunities that I may not see right away. That's what that book is about.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, are we missing anything else here in the chat room that needs to go?
Chat? No. Okay. Lisa says she's fluent in French. So am I. Quebec. Away.
C'est bon.
Oh, hey. No.
He said it's good.
I'll start speaking Italian. All right. Aspetta un momento.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. I think that's the only word in French I know. I know oui and c'est bon.
What is c'est bon?
That's good.
Oh. Okay.
That's an important word to know. A couple of important words to know. Oui, yes, I want some.
I know that.
Is it good? Yes, c'est bon. There we go.
All right. So okay. All right, I'm gonna reel it back in. All right, so now we're talking about all these digital medias and marketings and platforms and such. Are there still when we were talking about Yellow Pages, are still regular, traditional forms of advertising still worthy of our time?
I think some are. I think there's a place for print and postcards. This is where print is making a rebound.
Okay.
If you've got a really exquisite product, high-end products do well with print. Writing books is still, when you're an author of a book and you walk in and you hand somebody physically a book versus a business card.
Yeah.
Somebody said
How long have books been around? Hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
I was in Ireland a couple of years ago, and I went to the university there where the Book of Kells is. It's the oldest book in the world.
Mm.
And people were just, they were just fascinated with the library there. People love books. So this is traditional marketing. So writing a book, publishing a book, and handing somebody a book, they look at it and they're like, there's just something about a book. It just means something to people.
Yeah.
So I say, write a book. If you've got an upscale product, put out a nice magazine. Also, nothing wrong with sending your clients nice gifts over Christmas, a Christmas card.
Yeah.
Handwritten letters are kind of making a comeback of like, hey, like a little note. Thank you for the referral. Mm-hmm. That little personal touch means a lot to people. Like, wow, I got a handwritten card, a thank you, So I believe that there's still room in this world for those little special touches with postcards and thank you cards, writing books. I think direct mail can work if it's done right, but it's not my first line of offense. But if it goes to the right people in the right way, I think it can still be an effective means.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
And not to mention, it's tax deductible.
That's right. And, and I think in some markets, and here in Las Vegas, where it gets hot during the summer, and there's a lot of local small radio stations, you'll hear air conditioning guys. I think radio still got a good opportunity for some businesses.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like an air conditioning guy, people that need immediate, like a plumber, people have stuff busting all the time. So if you hear it on the radio and you're like, oh my God, I'm driving home now because my sink broke, I'll give them a call now.
Yes. You never know. And then it could be too, because someone else heard it. And you say to your friend, oh my God, I need a plumber. And, I just heard this on the way home, and especially if it's a jingle or a logo or something like that, then it sticks in your mind. So all these things
play a
huge role as a whole. But to get to the whole, you got to do the piecework and the footwork and be, be proactive in your business if you want it to succeed.
So true.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you have to be, you can't just do it one day and then, okay, 3 days later, okay, I'll do it again. You have to continuously do it daily.
Yeah. I think I want to talk to that point. Consistency to me is probably the secret to good marketing. It's one of those things that we don't see as a factor. It's easy to look at a Facebook post. It's easy to look at a postcard. We can either visually see it or hold it. It's hard to see consistency. I can't touch consistency.
Yeah.
But, who are the people that are the best athletes? The consistent ones. Who are the best salespeople? The people that are on the phone every day making their calls. Sometimes they have good days. Sometimes they have bad days. But they speak, because they're doing it all the time, they have more wins than losses.
Exactly. Now, what's the difference between publicity and marketing?
Okay. So PR and marketing, good question. Marketing is what you pay for to influence people. Publicity is what other people say about you. So that doesn't mean that you can't buy publicity.
Yeah.
But you're buying, like a press release. Or you get an article published by a leading magazine and you happen to be the author. Okay. Or someone writes about you and mentions you in their blog and puts a link to your blog. What I'm doing here, I didn't pay for this. You're kind of talking me up. I didn't pay for it. So in a way, this is more, although I'm marketing, it's more publicity. I'm doing it for free. I'm not getting paid for it. I'm giving away my knowledge. I'm networking with other people. So publicity would be like being involved in community events, having a booth, and handing out your brochure. You're not really selling like marketing. You're not sitting there going signing people up. You're building good rapport.
So in a way, to sort of bring it down to sort of basics, marketing you pay for, publicity is benevol is like free.
It's not necessarily free. You can pay a publicist to go out there and get you gigs, right?
Yeah.
But like the way we met is I paid a VA to go out and reach out to podcasters. That's how I met you.
Yep.
So I paid the VA to market myself, but this right here would need more publicity. I'll give you an example of a great publicity of somebody I know locally. There's a realtor that every month, once a month, she has a happy hour. Well, she hasn't done it for a couple of months for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But for years, for like 10 years, she'd have everybody come over and she'd pay for all the drinks. And it was a 2-drink, you got no more than 2 drinks because we didn't want to get anybody drunk. But she'd buy the pizza, she'd buy the beer, and there was no networking in terms of like going around the table and telling everybody what you do for 1 minute. It was just having people over, and if they want to talk business, they talk business. They want to watch the game, they want to watch the game. That's great publicity because 20 or 30 people would show up, and it was just more friendly, and it was just about building relationships.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So what I tell people is publicity is getting other people or other venues to kind of talk about you and talk you up versus you paying for the ad.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So before LinkedIn came in as like this huge networking platform.
Yeah.
Years ago, I was getting invites to meetings, networking meetings. Do they still have those? I don't even know. People would.
Well, I mean, obviously with quarantine and COVID, that kind of died out.
Yeah.
In the last 6 months. Yes, it was happening before that. I think it has a place if you get with the right group. It's like getting into the right marriage or getting employed by the right person. You want to make sure you're with the right group, because some groups, it's just a bunch of people that are hoping to get cheap leads. And then there's some groups where they're really trying to add value to everybody, and they're in for the long term. So yes, I would recommend networking in person, but be very intentional and do your homework on really, who are the groups that are very tight, they're big. So it tends to be like some cities got great chamber of commerces. They're active.
Yeah.
A lot of people show up. They do a lot of things. But also, let's not dismiss groups that may not be considered business, but have a lot of business people who belong. Like, I love motorcycles. If I go riding with motorcycle guys, they're usually going to be guys, and they spent $20,000 to $25,000 for a motorcycle, so they probably have some money, right? They want to have extra time, so now they want their businesses to boom, so they have more money to do travel. And I know people that ride motorcycles that are millionaires. I go out there, and you think they're on the Harley gear or their motorcycle gear, they're poor. Well, these guys aren't poor.
No. Harleys aren't cheap.
Harleys aren't cheap. So you may look at joining groups where it is more about a lifestyle than it is about business. But of course, what's going to happen is they're always going to ask you what you do for a living. Right?
Yeah.
When you really bond with people, like, they're going to eventually say, "So, what do you do for a living?"
Yeah.
And you go, "I help boom businesses," and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I have a business that needs to boom."
Yeah. I mean, and I'll tell you though, the Harley people, because I worked at the Harley Rendezvous with Johnny Cycle. The money they made that weekend was wow.
It's you could be a car fanatic. People with these $100,000 cars, they got money, or people are into hunting. Wherever you stand on that, but people who go hunting have a lot of money. So look for these type of charitable organizations that give back to the community. A lot of wealthy people hang out with these charitable organizations. So, look, it doesn't have to just be business. It could be something that really resonates with you as a lifestyle choice or a cause that you really want to empower.
Right.
Yeah.
My dog is barking at something. I'm just going to mute me. Mama, can you ask them?
Yeah, sure, not a problem. Scooch. Okay. Okay. Do you see the post-COVID world impacting how we market in the future?
Oh, absolutely. Well, to the point, if you were going out and visiting businesses or knocking door to door or going to networking meetings, or like some of the businesses I work with, they'd go to these conferences,
Yeah.
and they put a booth and 10,000 people would show up to a conference, particularly here in Vegas. I live in the Vegas area, and this city was built on conferences. The whole conference business died.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, they had to switch to LinkedIn. They had to switch to Zoom. They had to get good at video.
Yeah.
So my thing is, you have to adapt to the times. And as my dad would say, my dad would take me to Montana when I was younger many times to go fishing. And rule number one is fish where the fish are.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. I mean, if the fish are over there and you're fishing over there, you're not going to catch a fish. So you got to know where the fish are. You got to think like a fish.
That's right.
Yeah.
So post-COVID, where are the fish?
Right.
They're
Yeah.
on Zoom.
Exactly.
They're on social media more often. They're watching more YouTube videos. That's where you need to be fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of sense.
It does. I don't know which one that you where we're at on our
14.
Well, we can always get people to ask questions.
Yeah, everybody in the chat room, it's an automatic here. Anybody who has a question in the chat room usually chimes in. If somebody comes to you and says, I have a business and I'm okay, we'll use me for an example. Okay. I'm a Reiki master and I do healings. I want to go and start a business. Oops, she's gone again. I want to start a business. Like you say, you sit down with the person who wants to work with you. Can you give us an idea of what kind of questions you ask?
Yeah. What are your goals? Like, how much money do you want to make?
Okay.
How much money you're making right now? I think another key thing that I really do well, it's starting to get dark and I don't have any lights except the light for the screen. So it's going to get really dark behind me in the next, I think we have about 20 minutes more. So fortunately, I've got a big screen and it's lighting my face up. I ask them to write down all the ways they built their business.
Okay.
I want to look at how they got to where they're at. So they'll go, I get referrals. Great. What do you do to proactively instigate more referrals? They're like, nothing. Okay. But you get referrals.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the second way? You go, well, I'm active in my church and I go to church events and of course I network. I said, good, church. Number three, I've got this kind of this strategic relationship with this chiropractor and he puts his promo for me in his office and the chiropractor, I get people that'll pick up my brochure at the chiropractor because he likes Reiki. And then, I get some business from him. And sometimes I'll do lunch and learns at his chiropractic practice. So good. So these are the things that have built your business. What I want to do is take what already works and double it. I want to double every one of them. How can I double your referrals? How can I double the activity in your church? Mm-hmm. How can I double the amount of chiropractors? Now, some of that may not be possible, but then we have a bright idea. It may be, wow, I get business from a chiropractor. I wonder if I had 20 chiropractors willing to put my brochures. There's the unlock. See, by examining what works, we may have a blue spark of this bright idea of what we can multiply. I'm looking for the multiplier factors.
Right. Okay.
Where can I scale? How can I scale? Let's just see what already works. Why invent something new?
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like I get a lot of business. From web design guys. So they design the web. And the guy's like, okay, now that I've got my website, now what do? You need to talk to Edwin because Edwin's going to show you how to do marketing. What I built for you is a thing. What Ed does is a system.
Right. As Lisa says in the chat room, offer discounts for the person making the referral.
Yeah, that can, believe it or not, there was a study done that financial incentives is the least, it's not that strong financial.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you why people refer. The number one reason why people refer is it gives them social credit.
Right. So
See, if I turn you on to a really good restaurant and you're having a good time, see, I just earned some friend credit. See, I showed you a good restaurant.
There you go. True.
It's more social proof that I know that I'm connected to the right people and I'm doing well for my people. That's actually got more value than financial benefits.
True. Well, Bob Christopher in the chat room is Gina's partner, and he's the one who makes a lot of the stuff that you saw on our station break. He says, what about giveaways? Do they draw more people in?
It depends on the giveaway. I wouldn't rely on a giveaway because you can't repeat it every day. I can't keep giving away stuff every day.
Yeah.
Now, what I could do is I could give a free course that you could download, like a 2 or 3 module course that kind of gets you started into what I do. Download. See, that I can repeat. I'll give you an example of a realtor. A realtor wrote an ebook, and he found that a lot of people were trying to sell their own homes. Do you need a realtor? No, we're going to save on the commission. We're going to do it ourselves. He'd hear that a lot.
Yeah.
So he wrote this checklist of how to sell your home on your own. Here's all the things you need to do to sell your home. Now, you think that would be counterintuitive. You're teaching, I'm going to teach you how to do it, and then you're going to go do it, and then I'm out of a commission.
Right.
Well, this report was like 60 pages long. By the time they got to page 15, they realized it was too hard.
Okay.
So 99% of the people that he gave all the knowledge away to ended up coming back to him. Because they're like, this is a nightmare. You're like, right, that's why you want an agent. That's why you're in a commission. So I'd find something that I could repeat, like that free download. He can give that 100 times a day.
True.
He writes the book once, he uploads it to his website, and he just gives. And the people read it and they go, wow, he's really smart. He knows how to do this. This is too hard.
Yeah.
So when I give my book and people like, well, how do I market my business? Well, here's my book. You can do it all yourself. They start reading. They're like, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just hire you to do it.
Okay.
No, you don't have to hire me. It's all right here. Like, no, you're doing it for me.
Yeah.
And your books are all on Amazon and
Yeah, my Power Branding Secrets is about $17-18. And my other ebook, it's 99 cents. I literally, they pay when it sells, I make, I don't know, maybe I make 5 cents. I don't even think
I'm a multimillionaire. Hello.
I'll get a free refill of my coffee or something. I mean, I just did it because, see, following my own principles, give the content away. They'll read my ebook and they'll go, you know what? I'm just hiring Edwin. He can do this for me.
There you go.
All right. Well, what was it that sparked you into doing this to begin with?
Great question. When I was 19 years old, my parents, my dad was very entrepreneurial. They started a travel agency when I was 19 called Travel.
Good name.
In Orange County, California. And back then, this was back in 1983, marketing with Yellow Pages, radio, newspaper, and handing out flyers.
Yep.
Well, I didn't know anything, so I made up flyers, and I went around the business parks and I handed out flyers. And my mom was like, people are calling off your flyers and we're selling airline tickets and cruises. I was like, they are? So I was like, wow, this is like I actually did something in the business world. I have no knowledge. All I did was make up a flyer with prices. I handed out to everybody. I would do like 500 a day because that was the only skill I had as a 19-year-old. So it started having an impact. I was like, maybe I should get some training in this. So there was a local community college, very inexpensive at the time. It was like $35 a semester per credit. So it cost me $100 to take an advertising class. And I started taking that advertising class, and I found some books that my teacher recommended me, like On Advertising by David Ogilvy, written in the early 80s. And I was hooked. I was like, man, this is where I belong. It was just everything about advertising and marketing and growing business. It just seemed like this perfect blend of aesthetics and creativity with business and making money. It just seemed to be the right
everything in a nutshell.
It was the right vibration for me.
Yeah, you got to find your niche, and when you do, we run with it.
Yeah, so I've done it ever since. And in 2006, I saw the future, and I had a friend making a lot of money in internet marketing, so I went to go work for him, and that's how I learned. I worked for him for about 2 or 3 years.
That's fabulous. That is fabulous. All right. When COVID is over and we can all get back out into the world,
Gina,
what is the difference? What?
You
already asked that? You already asked? Oh, I'm sorry. That's when I was tending to my dog. Well, I didn't.
It's okay. We still love you.
Okay. All right.
You didn't shoot him, did you?
No. I took care of my baby. She's my baby. I love her to death.
All right.
Okay, so for all the things that we've been discussing, if somebody wants to say, okay, believe it was, I can't remember who it was in the chat room. I'm moving the wrong mouse, by the way. Forget her name. I'm sorry, my brain went to mush right there. She's starting her massage business. She's a very good masseuse, but she wants to grow her client base. Okay, what would be the first thing that she could do that would start her along that path of growing her business?
Get good at LinkedIn, put in some time learning it, go to YouTube. There's plenty of content creators that will tell you how to create a profile, how to send out an invitation, how to use Sales Navigator. Do 10, 20 hours of study, and then concurrently spend 20 minutes a day sending out an invitation, upgrading your look. That's the first thing I do. The second thing I do is I would get her a Google My Business profile, and I'd start getting my past clients to start writing good reviews for me in the hopes that my Google Business profile, so when people type, best masseuse near me, her Google My Business profile is popping up. That's free, just requires effort. Those are the first two things that I would do. And then third thing is I would build up my email database, and what kind of content? Video content, articles, how to, whatever, you're comfortable with. That's where I'd begin.
When you go and do your lecture,
I'm going to turn on the light. I think I got a light I can turn on. Hold on.
This has been such a. I'm sorry that I missed that question. I apologize for that. But this has been such an informative show, and I told you we were going to learn stuff, Mama. Told you we were.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, your shirt changed color.
Yeah, because now it's got the screen is now making it blue with all the lights there in the back.
That's insane. What was I asking before you left? Oh my goodness! Wow, I totally lost.
You had me on the blue shirt.
I know. Yeah. I got totally. That's my shiny ball moment. I just totally.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, as soon as I start talking, she usually remembers what it's all about. Okay. Is there, when
I have craft.
Each business, does it have to have a logo? Now, for example, I am Mama D, and my radio show is called Angel Meadows. Mm-hmm. I have a background that was made for me that is pretty much everyone knows that they see it. It's Mama D. So is there a specific type of logo that people should be looking to make that like Gina, Foxy G, the Fox Den? Everybody hears the Fox Den, automatically they think of Gina. So is there some way to make people understand how to make their logos that would sort of, like, I know it's only a part of, but that would help them go to the next step?
I would just kind of take a look at like what's kind of the accepted design model or in your area. I think a lot of people put too much attention on their logo and not enough attention on reaching out and creating content. I mean, sometimes some of the greatest marketers in the world, Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, their logo is their signature. That's it. They have an artistic signature, and that's their logo. So it's from Gary Vaynerchuk. You just see it's from Gary. Calls himself Gary V because Vaynerchuk is kind of hard to say. So he just calls himself Gary V. And his logo literally is the signature. Gary V.
I just put it on Gina B. I'm Gina B and I'm the Parafox. I'm Gina B in a place to be Pete Fox, the paranormal princess, Gina Bankston.
Yeah. So
but, that's all.
I don't think the logo, it's important, but you can figure it out. You find a logo specialist and you sit down with them, get some versions, get some revisions, and find something that resonates with you. Check with a few friends.
Yeah.
They say they love it, roll with it. You can always change it.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola and the Hilton and Ford, they've all changed their logos multiple times over the years.
True. Because Lisa in the chat room is saying that I'm being told I need a logo, an easy one like Dahlia.
I'll make you. I'll work with you and get you a logo.
Yeah, it can be your signature, Mama D. Doesn't have to be. Anything.
Well, I think I am the only Mama D. I think I'll have to Google myself and see.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
whether you are or not, the logo could still be distinctive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My I don't have a set logo. I really don't. It's just a fox. Any kind of fox. I do different things. As long foxes are involved. That's it. But if I put a post up on Facebook, what do you know about me? Everyone. Foxes. You love foxes, everything, the Fox Den, the foxes, fox. So that's good. That's wonderful. But I remember what I wanted to ask you now.
See?
It was about the lectures. The lectures that you give now, is it just companies that you would give lectures to, or have you gone to like a public library or something, like a book signing / lecture?
Yeah, I've done to groups of thousands of people, and I've done to groups to 5 or 10 people. The public lecture scene right now is gone online, and I don't know when it's coming back to go in person, because even when all the restrictions are gone, we're still going to have the mental mindset of people like, well, I don't know if we've changed their habits to become so dependent on online platforms. But I think it's going to make a comeback because people are going to get cabin fever.
Oh, yeah. God, yes.
Yeah, next year.
Then I just want to go to the convention so I can get out of the darn house.
Yes, we do. Well, you've seen the ad in the middle. We do ghost hunts. We do events. We do lectures at events and such. So, yeah, in this year, everything was canceled.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a well-deserved and needed break for us because, it's always like every weekend we're off somewhere. But now we're chomping at the bit to get back out there, So we're planning our big, huge Penhurst Paracon again. That's going to be on next year. A lot of things. All our ghost hunts are going to be back on. All our shows and events are going to be back on, and we're really looking forward to it. However, but doing this and doing like StreamYard or Zoom, I guess you can have 50 people on Zoom. This you can only have 10 people. But there are a lot of venues if you need, and choose to do so.
Yes, absolutely. I think, that you're going to have both. I think you're going to have to get good at both. You're going to have to find the platform StreamYard is what you guys found, right?
Yeah.
I'd stick with that and just get really good at that. and build my audience through LinkedIn and email your content, right? And just get that repetition, get that branding known of like, okay, they're going to have good interviews. And then number two, obviously you're going to want to get back to your original business model, but maybe you can add an element of newness where you have all the attendees at the live event do a Zoom call to everybody out on the digital.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And maybe I think there's going to be a mix of how we survive. There's going to be like, we already see this with fast food places where now they're putting a lot more attention on drive-through and bringing it out to you. They're now remodeling the parking lots.
Right. Everything is, every store, right? Every parking lot, everything is remodeled for this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see an amalgamation of online and personal and a blend of these two that we haven't seen before, because now we've learned how to survive and we've learned to become better at certain platforms online.
Yeah, because a lot of people too say you do get to go to a conference, and your keynote speaker can't be there all of a sudden, but you can via satellite, via
That's right.
Any device like this, put them on a projector and they can still be there.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the future is going to be definitely mixed media. I definitely can foresee that.
No, I absolutely agree. Yeah, we're going to see a blend that we haven't seen before ever.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have like about 5 minutes left, I believe. What would you say is the most takeaway of this show, and why people should seriously put their time, effort into contacting, like, say, you or someone that does what you do?
Well, look, let's just take the obviousness. They're on Facebook watching a video through StreamYard.
Right.
Can you imagine if they were doing what you were doing? That's the takeaway. If they're here, how many of the people that they could influence could also be reached that they'd want to influence through StreamYard and through Facebook? See what you're doing and how they're involved. They should flip the coin and go, wait a minute. Instead of being the consumer of this content, what if I had my own show and I was the creator of content and I had this list of people engaging with me on Facebook? How do I, instead of being the receiver, be the cause point, be the emanator of what I'm watching? See, we live in a society where being a spectator is very popular.
Yeah.
But the minute you become a player of the game, it's a new game, isn't it?
Certainly is.
So go from spectator and become a player.
I love that. I love that. My dad always said to me, if someone else can do it, that means you can too. And, I just had the right people in my life in my times that I was a business owner, pretty much my entire life. And, that's all I knew, really. And I did well,
Good,
I really did. But I was pre all this, digital era. However,
yes.
I'm sure it could have been a lot more, Plus, I was working so much, I didn't really have time. I would have had to have a virtual assistant, because if you're a doer like I am, like, the physical worker, it's like, not only do I come up with the plan, I physically do the plan, and execute it. But you need that team.
You need a team. You need an infrastructure and people that are trained in their specific duties and hats. And when you can get everybody on the same page, moving in the same direction, that's when the expansion occurs.
Right. And that's also a part of Kaizen, is not only just the chunking of and the little baby steps and, do this, get good at it, move on, do that, get good at it, move on. It's team players. Also, everybody doing their little part.
Very true. Yeah, if you can get everybody doing that, everybody's making little improvements all over the place. You really, after a while, you're like, wow, this place has got a different feel. It's got a different vibe. Things seem faster. It's like when you see a restaurant that's badly managed and then it gets a good manager, And all of a sudden it's like, wow, what happened?
Changes.
We got a good manager, and he started to put in systems and, get staff on time and train them and doing the little things, but all those little things added up.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like you say, people want it. It's called the instant gratification disease. I had it. I'm learning to put it. I'm going to the AA for that, but everybody needs to take the time, like you say, to do it every day, to do the same, not the same thing, but the same idea. Like you said, send out the emails, do your Facebook Live, put your post out, whatever the daily post is, So yeah, it's an important thing that we all have to learn.
Yeah, and change and continue to grow. Go
Yes.
with the times, see what's new and out there. Well, the
We have 90 seconds.
We have 90 seconds.
Okay, just a quick one from Lisa. Yet another greatly informative show that honestly will build us all up. So thank you, Lisa.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. That's an awesome. You're welcome.
Yeah, we do our best. And next week we're gonna have Jean O'Toole back on again. She is the scholarship
lady. Yeah.
Wow, nice.
That's great. She is like a ball of fire. I mean, you want to meet someone that's like very gung ho. She makes me exhausted just listen to her talk.
Right, well, that's awesome.
I need a nap now. But I do appreciate you for all the information that you gave tonight, and I do hope that people will check you out, will look you up, get your businesses going in the right direction, and you can grow in this definite time of COVID. For sure, 100%. There's no doubt about it. And again,
go to LinkedIn and find Edwin Dearborn.com.
And definitely go to
the. Love this.
All right, thank you.
LinkedIn. So, all right, just hang here for a couple minutes here.
Yeah, no worries.
And everybody, I'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. Please share the show. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of The Fox Den. We would love it if you would go over to our YouTube channel, which is The Fox Den, hosted by Gina Bankston. Please like and subscribe our channel and join us in the chat room there while we stream live every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you next week. Good night.